Okay. Hello, everybody. If you're joining live right now, I see Christoph is here. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining the Trivy Office Hours. If you're watching this on YouTube, this is the recording. If you have any questions throughout watching the recording, you can join us on Slack. The link is in the description. Otherwise, do join us on our next Trivy Office Hours or on GitHub. Please remember that these office hours are under our code of conduct, so please be respectful to each other in the during the meeting, but also afterwards when you engage on any of our channels. So we have a small agenda with some updates. The first update is by Giovanni, who's joining this call for the first time. And this is the second time that we have this call. I see more people are joining. Thank you for joining. Welcome. Again, this meeting is going to be recorded and going to be on YouTube afterwards. We just got started. Wait, before you speak, could you please just introduce yourself and also share your role at Aqua if you're part of Aqua, or your job title in general, also when you want to ask any questions throughout the call, please just do, I think you can raise your hand on Zoom as well, right? Raise your hand or post in the channel, in the chat channel, and then we will get to the questions throughout the call. Okay, that's it from my side. Giovanni, you want to take over?
Sure. Hi, so my name is Giovanni Rodriguez. I'm the new team lead for Trivy. I started at Aqua over 3 years ago. I started on the Cloudsploit CSPM commercial side. I maintain the open source Cloudsploit and also the SaaS product of CSPM. And now I'm going to be joining Trivy to lead the team and help push out content and help organize things for the whole team. So. If anyone needs anything or has any questions or any comments, feel free to reach out to me. You guys can find me on the open source, and I could put my email here as well if anyone wants to reach out.
Awesome, thank you. We have 2 updates from Trivy, from the latest Trivy release, and then also from the Trivy Operator, we have a little demo. If you have any questions, again, just post them in the chat or raise your hand, and then you can also unmute yourself or turn on your camera, whatever you prefer, really. Just remember this meeting is recorded. Itai, do you want to take over and talk us through the latest Trivy release?
Sure. Mute yourself. Thanks. Did you mute?
Yeah, no, it's good, I think.
Hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
It's good now.
Hi, I'm Itai. I lead open source team. And I wanted to share, first of all, a quick update about the way we manage the roadmap for Trivy and related projects. So let me share my screen just for a second. All right. So this is Trivy on GitHub. GitHub, we have issues, no news here. The only interesting news is that we actually have been using milestones before and labels and everything, but we started to take a more structured approach to how we use it. So now we are starting to create a milestone for every release. By the way, if you didn't know, we release every month. Every end of the month, we have a Trivy release. So this is, for example, the scope for the next release. You can also see the scope for the previous release. We got some questions over the time for what are you planning to do in the next release? Or when is a specific feature that we discussed, when is it going to be released? Or what's the status of this and that? So all of these questions hopefully can now be answered just by going to the milestones and looking at the scope for every release. Again, this is, for example, the scope for the previous release, which we'll get to in a second. But you can see all the issues here, and you can also see, like, if you're interested in a particular area, for example, Kubernetes, you can see all the issues here for the Kubernetes and which milestone they are included in. So this can be very helpful. In order to simplify things a little bit, we also created a project here that is called Trivy Roadmap. You can go here, and it's like maybe a nicer view of the upcoming milestones, which filters only the interesting things, only features, and filters out irrelevant stuff. So this is a nice way to see what is upcoming. This is why it's called upcoming. And you can also see the backlog here, which are things that we would like to do. We just haven't committed to a date yet. So this is the backlog. We have many things that we are planning to do. But yeah, I think that starting to think in milestones and work in milestones would be a very good way to bring transparency to the project. All right, so that's one update. Let me just check the chat to see if there's any, no questions. Feel free to ask questions. Please ask questions. So this is one thing. And then I thought we can review the latest release. As again, we release every end of the month, so we did have a release recently. You can always go to discussions, announcements, and you can see here for every release we have a summary with all the notable features. We try to make it not like a change log of technical commits. It's more like a written summary of what is actually interesting in this release. And you can see, for example, this release, we added support for Windows finally. It's been an issue that is open for like a year. And we have started to release Trivy for Windows. It means that, it doesn't mean that we scan Windows, just a clarification. It means that Trivy can run on Windows. If you are a Windows user, you can run Trivy on Windows and you can scan your code or your regular Linux containers via Docker or something like that. You can scan them on your local developer environment. So that's one big change. CIS benchmark on Kubernetes, which Chen will explain in a minute, so I'll skip that. We added support for a couple of new platforms. So first of all, Apple ecosystem projects, Mac OS, iOS, etc. So you can now generate an SBOM for them using Trivy. Trivy can detect the package manager, etc. So this is a nice change. And Wolfi, which is a new upcoming popular container-oriented distro. So you can now scan containers with it. Elixir as well, another language that people ask for, and dependency tree for yarn. So actually, I want to show dependency tree for yarn and Wolfi. So let me show you that quickly. All right, you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm running Trivy latest, and let's do first of all this. This is running Trivy image, and I'm pointing it at a chain guard image for the base Wolfi. So again, Wolfi is a new Linux distro for containers. Let's scan it. This particular version supposed to be vulnerable. And yes, we see that we detected vulnerabilities there. So again, we just, thanks to the Wolfi folks, by the way, who contributed this feature. So Trivy can now scan Wolfi, yay. What more? I have here, this is technically a Node.js with Yarn project, because I have a Yarn file here. Sorry. So you can see it's a Yarn file, and I can scan it with Trivy. So I'm telling Trivy to scan in file system mode, and I'm telling it to scan the local directory where I'm at. So this used to work. Let's remove this for a second. It's always it's not new. You can see we find some dependencies here. This is great. Let's see. One of the dependencies is this ANSI regex. So a regex library that I happen to use in my code, and it's vulnerable. It has a high severity vulnerability. How do I fix it? Because not necessarily my code included that dependency. Maybe I'm using some other library, and that library included that dependency. If I would go to my package.json or something like that file, the file where I manage the dependencies, I might not even see this because it's not a direct dependency. But thanks to the dependency tree feature, we can now visualize this. So again, the dependency tree feature is not new. What is new is that it supports Yarn files as well. And you will start seeing over the next few months that we will add more and more languages to the dependency features. So you see the same results, the same table, but now you see here this dependency origin tree, and you can see that, for example, the ANSI regex vulnerable package, actually I didn't include it. It came from this dependency, strip ANSI, which is coming from this dependency, which is coming from this dependency, which originates because I directly imported the Mocha library. So if I just upgrade Mocha, I should be able to fix this security issue. That's it. Couple of nice quality of life improvements.
It's a nice way of putting it. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the chat or unmute yourself and directly ask. Thank you, Itai. Awesome. We can also get to questions about the Trivy changes later on. But Chen is going to share a demo on the CIS benchmarks.
Oh, yes. Hi, everybody. I'm Chen from Trivy team, focused on Kubernetes mainly. I'll do a quick demo. I want to show you how the compliance report works on Trivy Operator. I think last working hour, we briefly show how it works on the Trivy CLI. So I have here a simple, yes. Yeah, 1 second. Okay. Now it's better. I have here a simple kind cluster, very simple one. So just to show you, nothing here. Okay, let's install Trivy Operator, the latest version. I can quickly watch. Let's see that we have pod starting scanning, so we can see that system starting to work. Okay, we're getting some scan jobs. Okay, let's give it some work. The purpose of this session is to discuss about compliance. So let's, in the previous version, we added the compliance report. In the last version, we added the CIS. So we had NSA before, now we have CIS. We can take a look with this command, kubectl get compliance. Okay, so we can take a look and see the reports we have. Now, the compliance report that is we see here, CS and NSA, are in a form of spec and status in opposed to the other report, meaning that us as user can do change to the compliance report in order to
I think you broke off. Can
generate.
Giovanni? You broke off.
Now it's okay?
Yeah, now we can hear you again.
Okay, so let's take a simple example. I'm editing the CS compliance report. I want to change the cron because it's generated every 6 hours. This is the default, so we want to see something now. Okay, so let's make it every minute. Okay, and then you can see in addition, beneath it, there is a status report type summary. Okay, so this one will produce after a minute a summary report. Let's save it. Okay, so this is how basically, if you want to see something immediately, we need to change the cron. Otherwise, it will be generated after 6 hours. We didn't want to make it too frequent. Okay, so this is the change for the CIS. And we do similar for the NSA. As you saw, we can change, if we take a look, another look, I will not edit, but I just want to show the report type. So the report type is summary. The summary gives us a summary report, very, very simple. But if you want to get more granular, we can change the summary to all. We can show it later and produce a more granular report. So we can take a look in deep what's happened. In addition, we can change severity. So, as you know, spec and status, you can change anything in this test in the spec in order to impact. Okay, let's quit. Okay, so let's take a look at what we got with this report. So let's do. I think we have it here already. This one. So let's take a look at the outcome. Second, I just want to use JQ to give you the output because we don't want to see the spec. So we don't have output yet. So this is NSA, we change the CIS. Okay, so as you see, this is the status. So with the JQ command, I only get the status from the report. So the report produce the CIS. So this is the initial CIS. It's something around 65% of the CIS checks. In the next release, we are going to add the additional 40%, which require from us to do checks inside the node. So this is the first part. Stay tuned for the second one. In this report, as you can see, we get all the control checks. This is a summary report, I remind you. So you just get what is the status. If it is failed, total fail will be 1. If it is passed, total fail 0. Okay, so this is an example. We can do the same with the NSA and get a summary report with NSA. As I said earlier, if you want to get the detailed report in order to do something with it, if you want to get the reason why it's failed, okay, we just need to change this one, the report type to all. Okay, let's save it. Okay, now it's better. So next time the report will produce, probably take a few seconds. We'll see it in more granular way. Okay, so let's take a look if we get something yet. Not yet, but I think you get my point. So you can control what type of report to produce, if it is summary or all. And also you can change the control, you can change severity. By the way, you can produce this type of reports by yourself. There is, in our documentation, there is some explanation about the format. So you can easily create reports of your own. we are going to add more built-in reports in the next releases, PSS, and more, in order to provide more context to the great data Trivy produce. But you can create custom reports. So, okay, this is the thing. Now it changed. So this is an example that we changed the report from summary to details. In the details, we can see like more about the actuals. Okay, so this test is failing, and this is what we check. So you get more information, more something to take a look and what to do. Okay, I think that's it. If you have any question, Slack, GitHub, anything, you can reach me out.
Awesome. Thank you. So there are no questions in the chat right now. But like Ren mentioned, you can always reach out on Slack or GitHub discussions or create an issue once you try it out. If you have any, oh, there's a question by, I think your name is pronounced Christoph, but I'm not too sure. So forgive me if I mispronounce it. Is asking, is this report compliant with any outside systems? So does it, for example, I would assume, does it already does it already generate metrics and I can integrate it with Prometheus? Is that what you're asking, Christoph?
Hi, so I have unmuted to
Perfect. Thank you.
clarify my question. I'm just curious if this report can be used by any third-party systems, Aqua Security or the other, because I think that plain text report is not very easy to read, and visualizing stuff is way more beautiful way to go. And if my question is, are there any systems from Aqua Security or maybe other that you know of that exist and can use this report? Or what is the next step of using this report?
I mean, the idea here is that Trivy Operator, the way to the user interface of it is basically Kubernetes CRD. It's a Kubernetes native kind of tool, and it always communicates with you with Kubernetes CRD. Now the question is, are there any community tools or other tools that takes this CRD and make it prettier? There are a few. First of all, as Anais mentioned earlier, we also want to make pretty much most of the data that Trivy Operator generates available as Prometheus metrics.
And it does, by the way. So any CRD we add today, it's already available as a Prometheus metrics.
Yeah, so you can consume it with any tool that speaks Prometheus. For example, you can build Grafana dashboards on this, and we are going to do that as well. Right, we are going to probably soon. Anais knows better than I do when, but probably soon release our own Trivy Grafana dashboards that helps you visualize things.
It's also available with via Posty, right? So we have integration with Posty. You can leverage the data to any outside system.
So Posty, if anyone doesn't know, Posty is another open source project that we build, which is like integration kind of tool. You can send scan results to it, and then you can configure it to forward them or process them or do something with it. So for example, you can configure Trivy Operator to send the scan results or the compliance results to Posty, and then you can tell Posty, send it via email to me, or send it to, I don't know, open a Jira ticket if there is a high severity issues, or automate the workflow around it. So this is another option. I also want to mention a community project that is called the Policy Reporter. Sorry that I don't remember the name of the nice person who built it, but he's building like this also kind of integration tool where he collects data from different tools. One of the tools that he integrated with is Trivy and Trivy Operator, and you can basically send the results to Policy Reporter, and then it generates a nice report for you as well. I'll try to find the link to his project now and share it. So there are a few options. Maybe I forgot a few. Maybe if we search for it, we'll find some more. But basically, yeah, I think Grafana and Posty and Policy Reporter.
And by the way, Posty is it's ServiceNow, Slack, email. So Posty already leverage this to like many other systems. So it's give you a very wide options like to take it out externally. And of course, it's available always to you as a CRD. So if you can pick it up with any system who know to speak with Kubernetes API, then this is also good.
If there's any CNCF project that you would be interested in integrating it with, you can also let us know, and we can see if we can add a tutorial or help you edit as well. Like depends how you want to visualize, or like what tools you're already using as well to visualize CRDs. And it's likely that you can use those tools for the Trivy Operator and the CRDs as well.
Yeah, for start, I want to try the Trivy Operator, but as I saw, for me, it looks like this is the first step, and you have to integrate with some other systems. And the Posty and Grafana looks fine for me, and I will try it. So thanks for explanation.
You can also try the Lens. If you have, I don't know if you're a Lens user, but Lens and also K9S, they have plugins that you can use to visualize the CRDs in a nicer way, like in a more intuitive way than querying the YAML. So that's something else that you could try out as well.
Sure, thanks.
Awesome. Thank you for asking. Are there any other questions? Feel free to unmute. Also, if you, by the way, if you're watching this, like the recording, or if you're live here right now, you can also always put in the discussion that I post on the Trivy repository on GitHub before the community office hours. Any agenda items that you want to, like, anything that you would want to have discussed or shown in these calls, or you could also share with us your own use case of using Trivy, the Trivy Operator, or related projects. Yeah, this is really like a space also for you where you can share those use cases with the community. So do let us know if you are interested, and we can also help you further with that. And yeah. Any other questions? Anything else somebody wants to share? Now's the time. No? Nothing? Everybody wants to get back to work? Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining, everybody. These are scheduled for like an hour, these office hours. We are also thinking about calling these more town hall meetings, since these are really like about updates on the projects on a monthly basis. And in addition, to spin out office hours where we're just on an unrecorded Zoom call where you can drop in once a week during like a set hour and ask questions about the projects, and we can help you debug things and similar. So do let us know if you're interested in that, to have those kind of office hours as well. This is really open for your input as well. If there are no other questions, then this is it for this meeting. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. I hope you have a great rest of your day or morning or evening or whatever wherever you're based. Thank you. Recording.